You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your number one source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Betas After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Betas After Show.
Hey there, Betas fans. You know what time it is. Ooh. I just love that song.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so cool.
So hyped.
You're watching or you're listening to AfterBuzz TV. We're talking about the third episode of Betas, Waiting for a Girl Like You. I am Matt Lieberman. Joining me on the panel, as always, we got my good friend, Mr. Patrick Dees.
What is up, Matt?
I'm feeling really good. How you doing, Patrick?
You're looking good. Aerodynamic. You got a haircut?
I know. I got a haircut.
You're looking so good.
I feel like such a douche because I got this haircut and I've been researching raw diets for the last 2 days straight. It's entirely different story.
So Los Angeles.
I know.
So Los Angeles.
But we have guests again this week. Returning, the fantastic Mr. Josh Stoddard, co-creator of Betas. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming back. We didn't think we'd ever get you back. We thought it was a one-shot thing. Like, nope.
There was money and compliments.
Okay, fair
They were spread around after last week's show. We also have Charlie Saxton, who plays Mitch on the show.
Yes.
Welcome, Charlie.
Hello.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We got you guys for 2 episodes tonight, so we're
very excited
about that.
Yeah.
So I really loved this episode. This was the last of the 3 episodes that dropped at the very beginning of the season, the free episodes, and it really, for me, this was the one that hooked me in.
Yeah.
Because we got a little more character depth. We got it wasn't a business episode.
Right.
This was far more, even though it was connected to the business, it was far more about developing our characters and seeing their relationships evolve, and also just kind of tapping into something very important, I think, to Nash's character, but also that's very, very relatable, I think, for our generation, for the age of the folks who are on the show. Which is, he has this beautiful moment, which we'll get into later in the show, where he says, I'm never going to be able to make them happy, which is, I think, a fear that a lot of young people have.
Absolutely.
I know for a fact I will never be able, with my chosen profession, I will never be able to make my father happy.
Right.
Maybe my mom too. I don't know. So we'll talk a bit about that further on in the show, and we'll talk about Divya, and we'll talk about dating and all that. But right now, I want to jump right into the Mitch and Hobbs and Mickey and Dane storyline, which is carrying over. We have this little arc through the first 3 episodes that ends rather nicely here. So Dane, he's pulling out these drugs for Hobbs. The Hobbs orders in the second episode, right in front of the cops. And what's this stupid song that he's singing
Candy
to himself?
makes your dick
grow.
It's funny, that was an improvisation he did in the pilot. He was in the scene where you were sneaking into his office to
totally.
return the phone. He would just riff songs, and he did one that was "Coffee Makes Your Dick Grow." Coffee makes your dick grow. As he leaves the office, and my wife actually saw the dailies for that, and she just thought that was the funniest thing she'd ever seen.
Yeah.
She's like, why didn't you use it? Why didn't you use it? And so we decided we'd bring something like it back, so a shout out to my beautiful wife.
Yes.
Smart lady, man.
Yeah.
Yep,
Go,
I
Mrs. Stoddard.
Yes, that's how I do romance.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, dick jokes.
Dick jokes.
Yeah.
It's working for you, though.
Yeah,
Shut
exactly.
that down.
Yeah.
Pro tip. Roll it.
Yeah. Honey, every day candy makes my dick grow. Will you marry me?
Yes.
Yes, exactly. So he's popped by the cops, and you guys are forced to help him out, or not so forced. You're kind of the moral voice of reason.
Totally, for sure.
For Hobbs, and I think also in a way for the whole group, because everyone else is either too self-involved, or in Nash's case, not really necessarily able to convey his feelings about morality, or at least not in a way that's not completely outraged.
Totally.
So even though you're not crazy about it, you got to help this guy out.
Of course, doesn't deserve to get mouth raped in a projection booth.
Yes, who does?
Is that what you were setting me up for?
Yeah, that's exactly. You're so
You got
on.
it. You got it.
For those of you who don't know, Charlie is so on. He was prepared.
Super on my podcast game tonight.
Oh yeah. It's almost as if you've been on a podcast before.
Been on a couple.
What?
Podcasts make your dick grow. Is that what we're
Podcast make your dick grow. Lovely.
Yep.
So when were you shooting this episode? Was this
We shot this in order. So this was we had shot the pilot back in March and April,
yeah.
and then we didn't start up production again until August. So this is probably like the second week of August.
Okay. And how long does it take to shoot an episode typically? Is it like
1 week,
Is
5
it a week?
days.
5 days?
But that's all Los Angeles stuff.
Yeah.
And then throughout that whole process of shooting on sound stages in like local locations around Los Angeles, they're collecting scenes or writing scenes.
Okay, so all your interiors are still in LA. It's just the
For the
exteriors.
most part,
in
yeah,
SF.
there are some very specific, like authentic San Francisco spots that they want to.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. We see a few in this episode.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
Totally.
So it's just largely just establishing shots, and then most of this is just shot down here.
Yeah.
We do a lot of walk and talks outside.
Okay,
in
yep.
San Francisco. Whatever we can, I mean, obviously the go-karts were huge. We got a lot of
Right,
production
absolutely.
value in
Yep.
that, and
Sure.
So,
You know,
yeah,
I mean, you can get a lift car down here, but the streets look different.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That was a because there were certain production challenges we had, so that we were trying to get as much as we could up in San Francisco, but like we would be like trying to shoot like 8 or 9 locations a day just to try to get little pieces for every episode, and it was nuts.
Yeah.
So there were a couple times we had to cheat San Francisco streets down here. There are small pockets that you can sort of do that if you're not paying close attention.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, where there's slight hills or
Hills, yeah.
Yeah, Silver Lake's pretty
Similar-
hipstery.
There was a
okay.
couple locations where I think the barbershop we shot in the 5th episode was out here, and there was like a nice little hilltop.
Oh,
Yeah.
that did
In the
feel
background.
very San Francisco. All right, convincing.
When we get to Michael Lau's house, there's some similar
Yeah.
Pacific Heights-y
Yeah,
architecture
okay.
down here that you can get, so we shot it here.
yeah.
Fair enough.
So you pile into the car and you head over to Dane's place. And you offer very gallantly to kick it down, kick the door down.
And what does she say? So, can you kick it down?
No. No way.
Where do you feel like? How do you think Mitch grew up? Like he seems like he's a sheltered guy. He's got a lot of interests. He's very very smart. Awkward, but he's funny and he's a very good-hearted dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Mitchell grew up in this kind of cool community where these kids were basically spent their adolescence on their computers or on the internet. So they had all these friends and relationships and all these experiences, but they were on a computer. So I feel like he kind of took in all, because he likes rap music and he likes, sneakers and he likes Asian girls. So I just feel like, it's just, there's kind of this culture where it's just these guys are coming out of the woodwork.
Right.
And,
It's easier for him to express himself and interact with people when there's a screen involved.
For sure. And so to kind of try to do that in person, he kind of isn't able to communicate like a normal person, which is kind of why he talks in
In references.
lingos or references.
Sure.
Exactly.
Which actually it kind of connects back to the app itself, which is all about finding ways to have people connect in the real world. And we were talking last week about how Trey, in many ways, was had the idea for this app in trying to help Nash, meet people. But it would also very much help Mitchell. It would help.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Help Mitchell meet some ladies.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really curious. Does speaking Dothraki help him meet the ladies?
I don't think so. Maybe certain ladies might think that's kind of impressive.
I did get a chance to go back to that iwantbrb.com and watch the extended version, and that is unbelievable.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
No,
really
could you
proud.
drop a little right now? Can I put you on the spot? Can you do a little?
Deniquate. Camarasa Coresoredi.
I'm hearing panties drop all over. I'm telling you. Well done. Well done. And that's what Rocky for.
Oh, what was it?
Help me, I've been chained to my
Some-
desk.
yeah, for
I've been
3
here.
weeks.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Except for there was no. I remember when we researched, there was no Dothraki word for desk, so they came up with some table of doom. I don't know.
That would have been even better. I've been chained to this table of doom for 3 days.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No, when we did this like Dothraki Seinfeld sketch, and there was a lot of that like substitution there. I don't even remember half of the shit. It was a while ago. But so you guys, you get it. You get in there, and this tastefully appointed apartment with a wall covered in half-naked Mickey.
Yeah.
Just coated like he painted it. But he took the photos. And you're just
mortified.
Well, you've got like a half anger boner.
For sure.
Well,
anger boner is the perfect expression
it
for
is.
that.
Yeah.
Totally.
No, and what's his reaction? He says, "There's some really nice frames."
Very tastefully placed.
So good.
The juxtaposition of
The rule of
the
thirds.
naked photos that he took of you is
insane.
beautiful. Damn. Yeah. Everything that you wanted to see in the worst way to see it.
For sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
Unless, of course, he was in the photos as well, which he
Yeah.
was not.
Thankfully.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So like he's neck deep in this crush.
Yeah.
And it's pretty obvious that she doesn't see him that way. At this point in the season, does he have any inkling that he has no shot, or like what?
At this point in the third episode, I don't think so. I think he still has some sort of confidence left, because now they're actually working together.
Right, like they weren't talking together 2 weeks ago, and now they're bonding, they're hanging out. She's wrapping her legs around his head, and it's the best moment of his life.
Grinding at a rooftop party for the accelerator.
Yeah.
So they've made an acquaintance over the last few weeks.
Right.
So if anything, he's probably
Right, it's a big deal. He's pretty chuffed.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a setback.
Yeah.
But it's not going to squash his game.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
It's like
Charlie's resilient.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, he was riding high until he saw those photos, because it was like, okay, she never dated Dane, never interested in Dane. This is perfect. She's grinding on me at this rooftop party.
You better believe it.
She's telling me, let's get in the car and help this guy, and she's like part of my posse now.
Totally.
I'm in charge. What is that? And
out.
she already went through her bi-curious phase. And I don't get to be
I don't get to help out with that one.
I don't get to be around for that.
Cool.
Damn. I would have loved to be there for that.
But you do get to meet her a little bit later.
I do,
You
yeah.
get-
In the fifth episode, we do meet the a need from the bi-curious phases.
Oh, sweet. I see. I don't watch ahead. I try to stay fresh.
I cheated a little bit, watched ahead, and you were particularly smooth in that.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm stoked to see that we're doing that one
he's got a little-
after Christmas.
Yeah. When we come back from the break.
Yeah. So you get this money, which was stashed in
An Ann Coulter book.
In an ankle perfect hiding place.
That was the most ridiculous, because once we came up with that gag, we couldn't clear an Ann Coulter book, because no publisher of an Ann Coulter book's going to say, yeah, go ahead and call it a piece of shit.
Please, yeah. Just
So we had to, the only
had to come up with a
legal
title of your
loophole,
own.
we had to come up with a title of our own.
How many hours
and
did
not
you
use
spend?
a phone, and not use a picture of her, that
Right.
we couldn't clear it.
did you have to spell her name differently at all, or
No, thankfully
so
no.
just-
I mean,
okay.
If we could make up a title and not use a picture of her, but it took us a long time to figure that out, and then by that time
Was
it was
it-
such an
was
irritation
it-
that we were determined to make the joke.
Right.
Was it
I mean,
like
it's such a dumb
Ann
joke.
Apocalypse or like Ann something?
was-
The Ann Coulter story.
I don't remember exactly.
Something
There was like
My
a list
Life.
of
I forget what
there was
it
like a
was.
list of like 10 of them that we pitched. And I
Ann
don't remember which-
Atrocious.
And it was like yeah. It was
terrible.
Answers.
That's exactly what the room was like when we were all pitching ideas for that one.
Oh,
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it.
We blew a good 45 minutes.
Oh,
trying to-
totally. Because once you get on that track, you're like, no. Like, there's an intense writer theory of like, there will be a perfect one if we have faith.
Yeah.
It's like someone, like a preacher who's losing his flock. No. We must stick to the course.
Ann Coulter's not going to ruin this joke. Yeah. We're going to tell this joke. And this is going to happen.
And it's going to be the best joke, and it's going to be the one that everyone remembers.
Yes.
They're going to put this on our tombstones, guys.
I loved how the minute Hobbs finds the book, there's just this instant respect for Dane. Like, oh yeah, okay, this guy's all right. This guy's good.
Yeah.
It starts from there.
Yep.
Yeah, and by the end of it, he and Dan are almost like friends, and you're
Yeah.
furious. He's like a Benedict Arnold.
Yeah, totally
so,
backfired.
yeah.
His plane totally blew up in my face.
Yeah. Are we gonna see more of that friendship? Does Dane come back? Oh yeah,
yeah.
that's lovely.
Oh yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
Well, I mean, it started early on. Once when you see John and Tyson together. They're so freaking funny.
Right.
together.
Yeah, they are.
In particular, in 103,
Totally.
that scene in front of the painting together or in the car, like it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And that made us really hungry to bring them together as often as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah,
They're great.
Well, they've both got a soft side.
yes. Or a hapless, clueless, idiotic side.
Right.
Yeah, but I like
And
that.
and they jive. Yeah.
It's just a desert boosh.
yes.
Now I wanted to know, was the Tyson line the trade open mouth kisses for cigarettes? Was that
Pure improvisation.
I felt it, and
Yeah.
it was one of those spit take moments for me where I just like, what did he just say?
And his line about his mom shitting a soup.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
also
was totally
improvisation.
It's like,
Yeah.
inside, dude, you were inside for 3 hours.
That was great. That was a product of being trapped in this tiny little car for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours.
Really?
On a
Yeah.
sound
Just-
On a
stage,
sound
yeah.
stage.
Yeah.
So you go a little crazy.
Yeah, you just go a little loopy and you start saying the first thing that comes to your mind. And with Tyson Ritter, it's brilliant.
it just
every
works.
time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so funny between him and Moby. It's like these incredible improv comedians.
good.
And I want more musicians to do improv. Yeah. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Well, stay tuned.
Oh, great.
Excellent.
Dropping spoilers left and right.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. So, do you have any other questions about this part of the story? I think
No, I think
kind of.
I did
captured
love at the end though when she's wrapping her legs around you and you're playing games. It's one of my I'm a big gamer. I've got a gaming podcast, and one of the things that I pay attention to in shows is like when people are playing games. Clearly, like John Daly doesn't play video games. Like when he was playing that 360, he was hitting all of the
He was all the button mashing.
yeah, like that. It looked like you guys are you guys both gamers or?
I'm not a gamer, but I play video games. To the point where it's like
enough
if you're
to know that
it's
you're
you're
playing Call
intuitive,
of Duty, you're
sure.
guiding yourself or
Yeah.
a
Right.
tank. You're
Yep.
not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not juking left and right.
Right.
It's triggers and it's mostly
Yeah.
forward, and you're moving this left and
If you
right.
want to throw
Totally.
a grenade out from
Yep.
time to time, throw the grenade button out
Right,
there.
so it worked. I'm just saying that
Thank
passed the
you.
sniff test,
Appreciate it.
absolutely.
Thank you very
But
much.
definitely when Daly was playing that AfterBurger
yeah.
game, and I'm
No
like,
way.
that guy's never picked one of those up.
Well, and that's the kind of thing that would make certain people, I'm sure, irate, right? I mean,
Yeah, totally.
And that's something.
inauthentic.
Yeah, people go
off,
right
yeah.
to the internet, and be
Yeah.
like, that guy.
That's something for this show. I know for sure that our fans specifically are gonna. For
Key
references,
into, yep,
references
absolutely.
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And so we can talk about it more, but there was an incident in the wrestling episode where I fought very hard for something.
I remember that,
So we'll
yes.
get into that later.
Okay, excellent,
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah. Okay, cool.
Awesome. I just want to talk really quickly about iTunes. Folks, thank you for listening to or watching this
Yep.
podcast. We're doing everything we can to support this amazing little show. It's not a little show, but amazing. It's an amazing
It's
show.
a big little. It's a little big show.
Right.
Yeah, it's a little big show. I like it. Okay, I can
Amazon.
behind that.
But we have a deep passion for it. That's why we love talking about it. We love having these amazing guests. And I think it's one of the best shows that we put out here at AfterBuzz TV. We put out about 60 hours of content a week, which is a crazy amount of content. And it's all free. This is a free podcast. You downloaded it. You're watching it or listening to it at home or in the car. Or, I don't know, maybe you're working out somewhere and you're cracking yourself up on the treadmill.
Go, push. You can do
Eye
this.
of the
You can do
tiger.
this.
One more rep.
Yeah.
Everything you got.
Don't drop your weights. But here's the thing, folks. We do this show for free. We don't get paid. Patrick and I do it for passion. We love
Wait,
talking about
you don't
this
get
show.
paid?
What?
Awkward.
Patrick, I host this show. I host this show.
I'm just saying.
Patrick, I'm docking you a week's pay for that.
Damn it.
You get paid
I'm out of
too.
here. I'm leaving.
What the? No.
Hey, so does the check go to my bank account or
Yeah.
does it go to my house?
ACH, straight to your account.
cool,
You're good.
cool,
You're
cool,
good.
cool.
You're
Sweet,
good.
thanks.
This
Sorry.
is
Some of us. What he's trying to say is some of us don't get paid.
Yes, some of us don't get paid, so we do it for the love and for the appreciation. But here's the thing, folks. This is a free podcast. We need your help to keep it running and keep it running the best way that it possibly can. How can you do that, you may ask? Here, I'll tell you. First things first, go to iTunes. Go to the podcast, slap us with a 5-star rating, maybe throw us a review. Let us know what you think about the show. How are we doing? Are we doing too many bits? Are we not doing enough bits? Is there some kind of bit that we missed that would be incredible? You could let us know. It's very, very important because here's the thing. Every one of those ratings helps keep the show searchable. It makes sure that we are the first thing that comes up when people type in Beta's podcast. Anything. We want people to be able to find this show, be able to listen to this show. It really, really helps us out. And it means a lot to hear what you guys have to say. So please reach out. Please continue to use the YouTube and the Twitter. We love talking about the show. We love having a conversation with our fans. And we are going to be doing it throughout the entire first season. So thank you.
Can I get a
Thank you.
hallelujah?
Hallelujah. Holla back, y'all.
How do you like my impassioned pleading?
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm sold.
Thank you.
If this is a telethon, I would be dialing right now. I would be
I have
dialing.
an anger
But that's the
telephone.
beauty of it, is all you have to do is just press a button.
Yeah, just five star.
If I had some cigarettes, would you open mouth kiss me for them?
Yes.
Yeah, you don't need the cigarettes, man. I'm in.
Oh.
Yeah, we're almost
you
off air.
kitty patootie.
Please. I already have people shipping me and Stephen Lemieux, our engineer on another show, like shipping us like a couple because we bicker on air. I know. It's very, very cute. Yeah.
So wait, if you ask for free stuff, people send you stuff?
Free stuff.
Wait, what are you? What?
Shipping.
Not
like shipping things to us. Like, have you ever liked two characters on a show and you're like, oh, they should be together? Relation shipping. For example,
you guys are getting some free stuff.
I wish that I got shipped some stuff, but instead people ship us.
You get paid in haircuts, though.
I get paid in haircuts and open mouth kisses.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. For example, people probably ship.
And he's paid well. He's paid well.
Very, very well.
I'll be paying you later.
Great.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry. My fault.
Patrick, what did we say?
I'm a fan. I can't help it. Unbridled passion is what you said.
Not on air.
Okay.
All right. Let's talk about the show, please.
Okay, let's talk about the show.
All right. So on the other side of the coin, we have Nash's parents visiting. They were the first and largest investors in BRB. That's where a lot of their seed money has come from.
Yep.
And they're pissed. No return on their investment. Yeah. They run a 36-room motor inn. They make a profit. They pay their workers, and that's it.
Right.
And they're basically just crapping all over everything that they've accomplished. They don't understand it.
Yeah.
Like, they don't understand why this is a big deal. It hasn't translated into dollar signs, which is something I totally get.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be baffling to most people, I imagine, to come in and try to understand how this whole thing works.
No, and I loved the line when Trey walked in. He came in, and Trey was talking to them, and he says, "You talk like a magician." And it just felt like I've been involved in startups where family members donated and don't see that ROI anywhere near the way that I anticipated seeing it. And it's really rough when you involve family. So that's that really awkward meeting when they came in and. It was very well done.
Joe is so good though when he's trying to charm the pants off.
Yeah,
him
he's like, hey,
he's great.
He's simultaneously really obnoxious. And you kind of know where he's coming from. Yeah,
Totally.
it works.
Oh yeah, but I think there are a lot of people in our generation, whether they're doing startups or they're making art or they're making music or in my case I'm doing podcasts and I don't get paid.
Right.
I'm about to go home for the holidays and I have to explain myself. You know what I mean? Like it's been mounting. I've been forewarned.
Oh, is that right?
Right. I need to have the PowerPoint presentation, but knowing that the PowerPoint presentation will not be understood in the least bit because it's a completely different value system.
But in a way, you've got a body of work that you can point to online at least. But I mean, Trey and Nash have to show code, I guess.
Yeah.
At this point, they don't even have a working build just yet, right? So there's very little they can show.
Yeah.
Do you have a family member that doesn't know how the business works? So they're just like, call the directors of the Big Bang Theory. They love to have you. You're a nice boy. Right. Because I do.
Right.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, many.
No, mine are you know what you should do? You should do a sketch where this happens.
Oh, gosh.
But only if someone will pay you for it. Yeah,
Right.
You should stop doing that.
How did the Dothraki Seinfeld go over with the family?
Oh, they loved it.
Okay, all right, there you go. Okay.
So much love and affection. They retweeted it. Yeah. No. But Nash. They make this point to Nash, which, with the exception of the fact that Velocity is going to put them in contact with potential VC at the end of the program. They're like, you're paying all this money to have the same table that you would at Starbucks. Right. What are you getting here? What is he actually giving you? Right. And all Nash can say is there's free cereal and the milk is free. What else? I mean, there's also free Red Bull, as we saw when Mickey stole
Red Vines.
So much Red Bull.
I mean,
There's free beer, which is actually pretty dope.
That is pretty dope.
Yeah, well, as any modern office, you gotta have free beer.
The beer vending machine.
Right. So they put it to Nash. They're like, listen, it's time for you to be a man. We're tired of you being a child. We want grandchildren. We're hooking you up with this girl. She's great. She's she's smart. She does improv comedy classes. Isn't that fun?
For my funny boy.
Yeah. So
Nash is
Aunties are involved.
yeah, so awesome. And then they meet Divya. And I love the moment where she starts talking about like she's trying to connect with Nash, who's not giving her anything, anything at all. And she starts talking about the pressure. He starts to relate to that, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I was on speed throughout all of sophomore year of high school, so I didn't sleep at all. I mean, except for when I was in rehab." And it just got me thinking of like every time like I've started dating someone or like was interested in someone, and then there's that moment when you realize, oh wait, there's a dark side.
Oh, you're crazy.
I call them the aha moments. You're like, okay,
you're nuts, right? Yeah.
The stuff that you don't put in your online profile.
Right, that's not on Match.com. Right.
But at the same time, you don't want that to be the only thing. You know, you're like, but she did do drugs, but now she did abuse drugs, abused with a D. But now she's probably fine, right?
Hindsight 2020, she's okay.
Yeah, she learned her lesson.
She seemed like a pro dater, right? So she puts that out. She's obviously smart. She's relatable. They're going through that spelling bee piece of it. She puts out that dark past, and then she acknowledges how awkward it gets and says like, hey, I'm not gonna know if he's marriage material sober, right? Let's do this. And she brings him a round of shots, and I was like, she's such a rad date.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah,
totally.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, if she wasn't, she's nuts, but she's also like, that's pretty baller. I mean, I'm not a shots guy, but like I appreciate someone who's a force of personality. Now she may be too much force, like brute force for Nash.
Blunt
and we've said, but
force.
right. But we've said Nash needs a little bit of that, right? He needs a little.
Well, that's what
push,
Trey thinks anyway.
Yeah.
He needs to push. He needs somebody who's going to pull him out of his shell forcibly, and that's what he's doing.
Right. Which I mean, I don't think that's what I don't think it harms Nash. I don't think it harms him at all, but I don't think that's what he needs. Yeah. I think Trey always has his best intentions in mind, but wants his buddy to be happy and well adjusted and all of that, but I think he tries to do it the way Trey would do it rather than listening to how Nash would need it. You know?
Yeah. So, he has to kind of pressure Nash to go on this date in the first place, and to make it a little bit easier to, a little spoonful of sugar to help the medicine go down. He says, well, how about I come with you and it'll be a group thing. It'll be a group date, double date. And he pulls Lisa into it against her better judgment.
Sure.
And they're out and they're having a good time. Divya pulls Lisa aside and they're off doing blow in the information center of this hotel.
Right.
Yes. It's the business center.
Yeah, the business center. Where
Just
the
wanted
fax
to send a
machine-
fax. Yes. Yeah.
I love that line. We don't say fuck on the show.
Oh boy. Now is the dam open? Is it just not like?
You owe me $1.
Do Steven, do you have any intention of going back and like editing that out or bleeping that?
Not at all.
Okay, great. Yeah, who the fuck faxes anything anymore?
Yeah.
We should probably not do it a lot. I mean, now
We're
can.
quoting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And I was informing the audience before that, so we're totally cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go sponsors. So, let's talk a little bit about Lisa and where she's at. She just broke up with her boyfriend. She's not really feeling that great, and then she sees him with this blonde girl, and it sets her off. And you tell me, right? Was that like a major? Would she have hooked up with Trey? Would she have gotten that drunk? Would she have done all of that if that hadn't been a catalyst? I feel like that was a catalyst for her to go a little further.
Yeah, I think so. I think absolutely. I don't think that. Everything we put in there was to kind of facilitate what was a big divide between the two of them, and the tension was high, the stakes were high for Nash. Liquor was flowing, cocaine was going.
Yeah.
There was some liking of photos on Insta, that can set anybody off.
Serious liking of photos on Insta.
Don't like my photo when we don't speak anymore.
Oh yeah,
and that's some dark shit.
Well, no, I mean it's like when you. And I do this, and I feel like an ass, but like, no, it's supposed to be a good thing. Like where it's your ex's birthday, and you wish them happy birthday on Facebook,
right?
And you're like, I'm doing a nice thing. I'm saying happy birthday, but at the same time, I'm wondering, did I just ruin their day? Did I just ruin their birthday by reaching out, and they're just gonna be thinking about this?
It's gonna be they're thinking he wants to get back together.
Yeah.
What a creep.
Yeah, what an asshole.
Wait till my birthday.
Really? He doesn't say shit, and then he says happy birthday on my birthday. What? He thinks I'm gonna be thinking about him today? I'm doing great. Also, I could just be
Man, you
blowing
get
this
so
way
into your
out of
girlfriend's
proportion.
heads. You're like, holy shit.
It could be called empathy. It could also be called being a sociopath.
Either way.
Either way, there's a lot of passion on display. So they hook up in this photo booth, and they're just having a grand old time.
Right.
And then Trey and Lisa just abandon Nash with Divya at this hotel.
Photo
Things
booths
look
make
like-
my dick grow.
things look like they're going well.
Yeah.
I mean, he has every reason to believe that it's a home run.
He was playing with the glasses. Like, it was starting to get a little awkward. Give him some space.
I guess so. And maybe I'm underestimating Nash's ability to be an adult, but I'm like, for some reason, I'm like, don't leave him unsupervised in a
You're not.
public
No,
place.
you're not. You're not. You're not. Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know that it was the best move for Trey to leave him alone. But,
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know,
can
things are
handle
going
it.
well
Trey-
for him.
Trey-
him too,
Trey,
right?
I don't know that Trey's always doing the best moves. So I mean, he's our hero, but he's not.
He's a flawed hero.
He's a flawed
like
guy.
the best,
Yeah.
like the best
Best of
heroes.
us, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, and an opportunistic guy, right? Like, things are going really well, the
Right.
photo booth was a thing, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. And everyone loves a good photo booth hookup.
What's the,
Right?
what's the
Happy
not to love
face,
about
sad
that?
face, business face, crazy face.
Yes.
But the crazy face, you just make out with them. That's like the
That's-
key.
No,
That's,
no.
Is it code for like?
I think
I think you're
so.
just dropping knowledge on people. So when a girl says that, okay, perfect.
No, they did crazy face, and then she leaned in and kissed him.
That is true.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to be smooth, you can do that.
Right. But then, if you look at how many photos they took, they dropped a lot of money
There was
on
a
this
lot of money.
photo booth.
I mean, that was the cocaine spending.
I guess
It was
that's
just
true.
like,
You're right.
it was full on. Like,
Right.
what's one more dollar?
Once the nostrils are open, the wallet is
Make it
open.
rain.
That used to be a 20-minute sequence where they'd stop and feed money in, and they'd take another 4 photos.
Good decision. You're making good choices on the show. Yeah.
That was
Pressing the
originally-
screen. So they
It
want
was
black and
originally a
white.
two-parter, this episode.
Yeah.
The cliffhanger was, oh no, I'm out of money for this photo booth. So then, in the second part, they go to an ATM.
Then they went out and for a few minutes to buy mints, and then they got
Right.
back in because things were happening.
and then they had to wait because there was another couple
Another
using
couple,
it.
uh-huh.
And then they had to wait while they hosed it down. And then, yeah.
Info like that is only available on this podcast. You're not getting that content anywhere
no,
else.
no, we're not.
No.
Yep.
Exclusive.
That's not going to be on the
AfterBuzz
DVD.
exclusive.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so Nash, Divya leans in, she kisses Nash. He's not quite ready for it,
Right.
and he runs away to the bathroom to kind of cool off. And he runs into an old acquaintance there.
Yeah. Former TA.
A former TA. It wasn't quite spelled out.
Yeah. No.
Right.
Yeah. Who he was to him, but there was a kind of like a weird energy there. I don't know. Like the first time I watched it, I know this is wrong, but I'm like, when they step out of the bathroom, I feel like is Nash worried that Divya thinks that he's like gay for this guy or something? I don't know. It's totally a misread as I rewatched it. But he says he's the fastest coder he's ever seen, and like we should catch up. We should talk. And I'm wondering, is he trying to poach Nash?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Your first instinct? Not a bad instinct.
No, it wasn't. I was just gonna. I was actually
What?
just gonna say because
Okay.
in future episodes they kind of hint along that, and he's very in that interaction. He's very handsy with them,
Yeah.
like in a nice way, but just like, hey, you look great.
Michael
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so maybe I'm not wrong.
No, you're not
No,
wrong.
yeah. And it
wrong.
was played so well
Not
when he
wrong.
says, "Hello, Michael. You look well." Like, it just
It's oddly formal.
It's just
Yeah.
how it's
My
so
favorite
bizarre.
is Leo who plays Michael Wow. Is that sweater vintage? He's like, oh, it's my
It's my
dad's.
dad's.
So
So
vintage. So good.
Yeah, but then when Divya walks up and Nash fails to like make any sort of introduction,
Yeah.
like we've all been on the Divya end of that before,
Yeah,
where you're like, are
totally.
you gonna like, come on, like,
What's up?
Yeah, hey, just standing here, we're
Right here.
on a date.
Yeah. Oh no. And then,
What's
but
up?
maybe that again speaks to my original thought, where he's like, "Oh, we're on a date." He's like, "Oh, I'll leave you to it.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
leave you alone." So he passes out, and Trey comes to find him. He got his text early in the morning, and he says, I'm sorry. I didn't like Divya enough, and now we won't get the money, and she won't like me." And like, he did this whole thing. He thought he had to do it. He thought he had to basically get her to like him so that they could get this money, and that he'd be a bad friend if he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is heartbreaking.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It's like an absolute, it's a misread of what Trey was telling him, but it's not that far off. Like Trey doesn't really want him to, have to, stretch himself in an uncomfortable way. But Nash isn't comfortable with subterfuge. He isn't comfortable, putting himself out there knowing that already he doesn't want to marry this girl.
Which I don't know why. She's marriage material.
She's great.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
Marriage material.
Yeah, I mean, she probably comes from money. She's got the cocaine. She's got the nice dress.
Sure.
Yeah, it'd be comfortable life.
Their kids would be phenomenal spellers. I mean, I don't know.
Their kids would be screwed. They would be screwed because he isn't able to communicate, emotionally well enough to be necessarily the kind of father that they'd need with a mother who was just batshit nuts.
Yeah.
Like
a balance. I feel like there's some balance.
Yin and yang,
Best of
bro.
both worlds. Exactly.
Yeah. Like he's got good genes, but he needs to marry somebody who's got the personal skills.
I think he'll give birth to a supervillain, right? Like he'll end up taking over the world.
Yeah, I guess. Oh, I don't want a supervillain Nash baby. Supervillain Nash baby.
Well, there
Nash
goes
baby.
season 4.
Sequel.
Yeah,
Supervillain Nash baby.
wherein
season
we
4.
skip ahead 20 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're following Heroes the way they did their thing. And
Oh, great.
Yeah. We're gonna just
Yeah.
And that kid's still using BRB to find people. Yeah.
Yeah, on like an ancient dusty phone as civilization crumbles around them. Mitchell's got a samurai sword made out of old beer cans. Yeah, Daddy Sharpen somehow. We're off topic again. Okay.
Imagine that.
Yeah, shocking.
whoa.
Shocking. With me at the helm,
It's my whole role here is to derail.
is to take us
Yeah,
off topic.
you keep us on point. Yin and yang, bro.
Yin and yang, bro.
Yeah.
Opposites
You need
attract.
that.
You
You
guys
need
would
that
have
balance.
a wonderful supervillain.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Well, I mentioned it before, and I really want to talk about this moment where he says, I'll never be able to make my parents happy. They'll never be proud of me.
Yeah.
Knowing that there comes a moment, I think, when you're a young adult, when you realize the life that I want to live and the person that I want to be, the person who I feel that I really am, is not in line with the expectations of those that I love and care about.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to realize that I will never be able to make them happy in the way that they want me to. Our relationship will never necessarily be the one that they want or the one that I want. Like I love my family. I know that our relationship will never be, or may never be, I don't want to ever say will never be, but may never be the one that we all want from each other because we want different things.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the beautiful things about growing up and becoming an adult and, making something of yourself and actually stepping out your front door and doing something, which is what these guys are doing. And one of the reasons why I relate to them so much. But there's something I think really beautiful about that moment of just like there's this tragedy in going after your dreams. It's saying goodbye to the person you were growing up, realizing that life may not have been the greatest, talking about all the pressure that he had. There were probably a lot of happy memories too, but I don't know. I'm rambling, but it really struck a chord, and I just wanted to thank you for that.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad. I mean, that's really wonderful. I mean, that was certainly our intention. And then, piggybacking on top of that, this notion that that Nash is someone who is perhaps questioning his sexuality.
Okay.
And that, it may not have even occurred to him before this particular evening to articulate it in any sort of vocal way. He's probably very asexual.
Yeah.
And so that sentiment of being, never being able to make your parents happy takes on another layer of meaning when you think about
Absolutely.
not being able to give them grandchildren,
Right.
not being able to settle down the way they want them to, not being able to be that person. Whether it be somebody who fails in a business way or doesn't accomplish what the grown-up mandate, business-wise,
Right.
or interpersonally. Like, and Nash is under a tremendous amount of pressure, and he's been repressing a lot, and he's been not acknowledging a lot. And I think tonight brought a lot of it churning to the surface, and I think he's wrestling with some big things. I don't think Trey knows what he's saying when he says. I don't think he knows the depth of what he's saying when he says, I'll never be able to make them happy. I think he means Trey thinks he means exactly what you said, and then on top of that, there's what Nash is wrestling with that he will continue to wrestle with over the course of the season.
Now, I don't know if you guys can speak to it because I think it resonated for me in a very different way. But I'm excited to see where that arc goes with the parents. I don't know if you can speak to that because at least to where I've seen, they have not come back just yet.
Right.
We have an opportunity to explore that a little bit further in future episodes potentially.
Yeah, I mean, Mahesh does come back.
Okay.
He does come back, and there's it's not like they're not back several times, and it doesn't really go. I mean, I think the spark that we start with Michael Lau is the story that we follow more.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
But Mahesh does come back, and they do have a really poignant, wonderful scene at the end of 108.
Oh, great.
That's fantastic.
That's awesome. And I'm sure it's something that we'll see continue to develop over the course of the whole series.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, they're the parents, the actors who played the parents are wonderful performers, and, Mahesh.
Good. This is fantastic news. You got to understand, because I think there is that moment like where I can imagine. I'm not a father, not a parent, but I can imagine as a parent, you just want just unparalleled, just all good things all the time, a perfect life, a perfect for your child. And I think at some point, I think to your point, Matt, sometimes you're going to live in a manner that maybe is inconsistent, or there'll be missteps along the way, be inconsistent with the way they envisioned life. But there's that. What's beautiful in that relationship is that reconciliation. Like, I get it, that's your life, and you're still, my son or daughter or whatever, and we're still family and best friends. And so that's one of the things I wanted to ask. Is am I going to get any conclusion to that? Because that it was a pretty powerful scene, and I think this episode for me was the perfect third free hook. I mean, because for me, from a pacing perspective, you guys nailed this because I liked the first two episodes 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I said previous episodes, I was only turned on to the show because they said, hey, you just right up your alley. So I watched the first two, really liked it, said, hey, I'll continue. And then I saw the third one, and if I wasn't already an Amazon Prime subscriber, I would have been after this because this is the episode that really illustrated just, hey, it can be funny because the first two are hilarious and it had elements of heart, but this is the one where I really had some hearts. And I think that's a brand of magic because a lot of things are dramatic and a lot of things are funny, but to have that beautiful amalgam of both is awesome. So anyway, I paced very well.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And, maybe those of you out there, if you're trying to find a way to get your friends to watch this show, you're a fan,
How could they do that?
Well, here's a couple ways. First of all, I'd highly recommend, since the first 3 episodes are available to everyone at any time on Amazon.com, you tell your friends to go and tell them, hang around, watch episode 3, or maybe even just be like, hey, you need to watch this show, and you could maybe even, I don't know if it would be wrong to skip to episode 3, but if it's the one that maybe hooked you too, maybe that's the one that you show first, and then they go back and they see everything. But one thing you can do, and the amazing thing that Amazon Prime is doing, is they're holding a promotion where you can get a month free. And here's the deal, folks.
Month?
You can get a month of Amazon Prime free. This show airs, I think, 11 episodes this season. 11 episodes this season. You could even potentially, I don't know if it's wrong to say, wait until the last 4 weeks of the season. Get your free month at Amazon.com/free month, and then watch the whole series as it concludes.
Next episode.
Yeah.
You could binge.
Or even if you're a huge fan and you maybe have friends and you're all fans, you could do something like this. One of you gets the free month, then someone else gets the free month, then someone else gets the free month, and you just alternate it so you have these episodes on lock for as long as possible. And hey, while you're at it, tell people about this podcast. You know you like it. You know you want it.
Well, here's what's rad about Amazon Prime is the free 2-day shipping.
Yes.
So, I mean...
It's a huge plus.
Yeah.
It's something Netflix doesn't have.
I've abused the shit out of it this holiday season.
So good.
$7 a month, you get unlimited free shipping and original content. So you could binge watch and just do it all in one for free, but I don't know. I buy lots of stuff on Amazon.
So do I.
That one click
Saves me
is
a lot of
dangerous.
money.
Very dangerous.
I used it. Yeah, it's really bad because I used it 3 times this week because Man of Steel on Blu-ray was just $10, and then they had a buy 2 get 1 free sale on a bunch of Blu-rays that may still be happening. Amazon Prime, guys.
Come on.
And then I ordered some raw chocolate beans, some raw cacao beans, and some chlorella and like all this health food stuff.
You can order literally.
Because you're going raw.
Yeah, because you're going raw. You got this haircut on Amazon Prime.
It's free 2-day shipping for my new hair. Yeah,
Aerodynamic.
going
Looks good.
hard in
Looks
the
good.
paint of the raw diet. Okay.
Haircut drones. That's the future.
Hard in the paint.
What else do we got for this week? I just wanted to talk like really quickly. Like I love how you guys nail little specifics about San Fran, and you've got these like they're driving these go-karts in the street.
Yeah.
which apparently that's a real thing. I mean, they're drunk as hell.
Yeah.
Nash should not be driving. He does
Wants
not have
that-
tolerance.
needs that
do it
deposit
drunk.
back.
Yeah, do not take that as an example of what you should do.
Right? Like at first I thought, oh, they're on a course. Like they went to a go-karting place. I'm like, no, that's a street.
Nope, there's City Hall.
Yeah.
And didn't Karin or someone cut off Karin while shooting that scene in San Francisco? Something happened where Karin thought this driver was an extra, and so he.
Yeah,
kinda,
I
like,
think he thought that everything was locked down, and he wasn't, and
Totally
that was
was.
not
Oh,
one of
really?
our cars, and he was just swerving all over.
He like cut
Yeah.
somebody off and thought it was like thought the car was with us, and
Oh, God.
the
That's
person was not very
fantastic.
happy.
Bad news bears. Don't do that.
Another anecdote from Dane when he was out on the street running away from the police, we had a concerned citizen try to stop him.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was pretty awesome.
Well, break that down for me. What happened? So he's running, and somebody hit
He's
him?
running. No, somebody was like yelling and coming after him, chasing after him and like trying to grab a hold of him.
Not seeing the film crew?
Not
like?
seeing any of that. I mean, they just saw,
They just saw the cops.
police and the kid running. And
Does my heart some good. People are trying to do right in the world. That's kind of great.
What people don't know is this show is actually What Would You Do on ABC.
yes.
Yeah.
Don't tase me, bro.
Yeah.
Tase me, bro.
Don't tase me, bro. We also have, they get into a Lyft car because, of course, no one takes taxis in San Fran anymore. I used to be a Lyft driver.
Did you?
You were not.
I was from the launch in Los Angeles until June.
I'm an Uber man. We can't have super villains anymore.
Oh, you. Yeah, we won't have supervillain babies.
What was your shtick as a Lyft driver?
I didn't have a theme car. I figured that I was charming enough that I wouldn't need
you
a
didn't need
theme.
mints or
No.
butterscotch.
Fail, boo.
I would just be the most fun. When I was doing night lifts, I considered it to be my responsibility to make sure that people had the best night of their lives. Unless, of course, I immediately got a vibe that they didn't want to have fun.
Yeah.
In which case, I would just be very respectful and offer the water and stuff like that.
There are people who
Is
hate
it-
fun out there.
True that it's policy that you have to fist bump them when they
Yes.
get in the car.
You're supposed to.
Oh, I didn't know that was policy.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like
Okay,
total
you
policy.
You gotta
What's up with
fist
that?
bump. It's the official greeting. You fist bump when you start. You fist bump when you stop. And you're supposed to correct people if they want to shake your hand, and you can't accept tips. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm the only person I know who quit the job because he genuinely just hated it. I liked it like 40% of the time.
Sure.
But I came to resent the passengers, and now I'm just talking about me. So we're gonna have to get away from this. But like, talking to people who would come down from San Francisco who had been using the service forever, like it's an institution up there. Like it can't be stopped.
Yeah.
And we'll talk more about it off the air. Okay.
I think we should keep talking about you, your Amazon ordering history,
Your
employment history, your
ex-girlfriends that are
ex-girlfriends
just,
and their
like,
birthdays.
so
Yes.
obsessed.
I'll start a personal podcast. I'll have all you guys on.
Yeah, I
Matt
wouldn't
Lieberman
even,
show. All right,
I won't
read-
even talk. I'll just listen.
I'll read you.
Tell me more.
I'll read my high school Zanga entries.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And,
Beautiful.
Oh yeah, and I'll show you all the girls that I had crushes on but never dated. It'll be great.
Your audition monologues.
Oh my God, I will do.
There we go.
There we go. The Matt Lieberman experience. Okay, I think we're gonna cut this one off here because we got another podcast to do.
Yeah.
But I want to thank Josh Stoddard, Charlie Saxton for coming on the show.
Yeah.
Guys, where can the people find you online?
On Twitter at JPSTODD.
Okay.
I am also on Twitter at Charlie Saxton.
Okay. P to the Patrick. I almost did your.
It's fine. It's all good. I get called that half the time.
P
these
to the
days.
Ds.
I'm at P to the D's, and I also have another iTunes podcast called Pixel by Pixel. That's all about video games.
Nice.
All right,
Yeah.
sweet. And you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman. You can also find me on Instagram at Matty Lieberman because Matty Liebs was taken and Matt Lieberman was taken.
You're
so you
real
can
bitter
Get those
about that.
likes.
I'm
Get
so
those likes.
bitter because it took me forever to get on the Instagram train, and then now I can't get the name that I want. It's my own fault. I'm also here on AfterBuzz TV on Sleepy Hollow, Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Almost Human, and I'm starting up new shows for Banshee and Helix in January. A few more new shows coming up all the time, so please stick around for that. Thank you guys so much for downloading, and we will see you on the next episode. Good night.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Bardukin!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals. Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.